And a petition aimed at stopping China's ongoing crime of forced live organ harvesting, now receiving over 190,000 signatures worldwide. The CCP state-backed human rights violation of organ harvesting has been used to propel China's transplant industry for decades, enriching CCP cadres. Studies suggest the regime mainly targets prisoners of conscience, including the spiritual group Falun Gong. To unpack it, I just had a chance to sit down with Dr. Torsten Trey, founder and executive director of Doctors Against Forced Organ Harvesting. Dr. Torsten Trey, thanks so much for sitting down with us today.
Well, thanks for having me.
It's really great to have you with us. Dr. Trey, we're talking about something that you've described as an ongoing crime against humanity. For those hearing about this for the first time, what exactly is happening, and why do you think it sometimes may feel like the world seems to look away?
Yeah, we are talking about forced organ harvesting. That is a systematic practice basically only observed in China, where victims, vulnerable people, prisoners of conscience are used as an organ source. They are listed in categories like blood type, etc. And on demand, when a patient comes, those people will be killed and their organs will be removed for transplantation. This is something that exceeds even what happened in the Nazi concentration camps, when the Nazi doctors were just conducting experiments on the prisoners. In this case, it is even turned into a profit through transplantation. If there are people who are not following the CCP doctrines, but they believe in truthfulness, compassion, forbearance, good values, freedom, they are basically becoming subject to this crime.
Now, your organization, DAFO, Doctors Against Forced Organ Harvesting, has initiated a petition last year. 190,000 people have signed this petition, which is actually addressed to the G7,
yes,
which is coming up.
Yes.
What exactly are you demanding of these world leaders?
Yeah. Our organization initiated a petition in 2012, and for 5 years we collected signatures. Actually 3 million signatures, and that petition was addressed to the High Commissioner for Human Rights in Geneva. We went to Geneva 3 times, but the office did actually nothing about it. We addressed this time the petition to the governments of the G7 countries and some another 7 countries to let the voice of the people who signed the petition speak to those governments, and let them know, well, there are right now 190,000 in 1 year. Let's see what will happen in the next year. The petition has basically asked for a joint statement from these G7 governments, and we want to ask them to condemn forced organ harvesting and to call for an end of the forced organ harvesting in China.
You have spoken to numerous victims, witnesses, defectors. Has there ever been any particular testimony that's really struck you that has sort of propelled you to keep on in this fight?
Oh, many. Like there are witnesses who almost escaped the forced organ harvesting, and I cannot say which one was like the most dramatic, but in one case there was a practitioner. He was held on in a hospital in a ward with no other patients on that ward. He was asked to take to wear a gown, and they pushed the bed with him to the operating room, and only in the last minute he understood. They say abort, abort, because of public pressure. In another case, a Falun Gong practitioner was arrested for handing out information material, and he was arrested, taken to the hospital, and they wanted to draw blood from him, and he refused it. And he said, "I don't want that." And then the policeman said, "Why not?" And he answered, "Because you want to take my organs." And then the policeman said, "This is exactly what we want to do." So there are moments like this where there was literal verbal admission that forced organ harvesting is on the agenda. That's very dramatic.
The gravity is
yes,
really palpable.
yeah.
Well, you have an event, a virtual event tomorrow.
Yes.
Tell us about this.
Yes, we related to the petition, we organized a webinar which takes place in Calgary, where the G7 takes place at 11 a.m. local time, and we invited different speakers to just inform the public about recent information that we collected about the meaning of the petition, of the importance to speak up. If patients are tempted to skip the line, the waiting line here, which is sometimes 5 years for a kidney transplant, and they know they can get a kidney within 2 weeks, they are tempted to go to China. But they might not know that they are actually initiating the killing of the organ source. So in this case, they become complicit by not knowing that this is happening. So it's utterly important, and that's why it's our first call on the petition, to inform the medical doctors and the public in each country about this practice.
It's really an issue of just such great significance, and we appreciate your voice in raising this concern.
Sure. Thank you.